If coordinating meals day in and day out for your family is stressful, you're not alone. Lots of people turn to crock pots and casserole cooking to keep it simple, but sometimes too simple a recipe can be boring. Pam Anderson is a food columnist, she's laughing, and blogger, and the author of Perfect One Dish Dinners, all you need for easy get-togethers, and she's back to share a couple of her wonderful recipes. Welcome back, Pam.
Well, it's great to be here, and it is that time of year. You know, grilling season is winding up and we're all kind of back in our routines. The kids are back in school. And, you know, you got to get back into that regular practice of getting dinner on the table every night.
And you've got a fabulous recipe. What are we going to start with here?
This is what a white wine chicken stew. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's complete. I think a lot of people kind of fear the kitchen because they think, oh, I got to make a main course, I got to make a starch, I got to make a vegetable, I got to need to make a salad.
Right.
This is complete and beautiful, and I think it's a dish everybody's going to love because everybody loves chicken, right?
Everything goes on in this dish, right?
Everybody
Inside
does
here.
in this pot.
Okay,
exactly. Great. Well, I've pre-browned my chicken here, as you can see. These are boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I love chicken thighs.
I do too.
They're so good, and they're so forgiving, unlike the breast that dries out pretty quickly. So I've browned these, and to the pot now I have added some sliced mushrooms. You can buy them already sliced at the grocery store. Just dump.
Right.
And we'll give those a little salt and a little bit of pepper.
Well, and did you put a little butter, oil in there?
I oiled the meat, and this was what was left over.
Okay.
So I have some backup as if I needed it, but as you can see here, the mushrooms don't really need it.
No, because there's so much moisture.
Exactly.
Now, the chicken, you browned it with what? Just salt and pepper and...
Salt and pepper and oil. I oil the meat as opposed to putting it in the pot because you can get away using less.
Okay.
All right. Now, to this, we are going to add some garlic, some prosciutto. I'm using this instead of bacon because it's leaner, and some tarragon. You could dried tarragon. You could use thyme if you wanted, or any other sort of dried herb that you like. But we're going to stir this in and let this cook until it gets fragrant, just a few minutes.
About a cup of prosciutto and...
I say about 3 ounces.
3 ounces.
And it usually comes in that little 3-ounce package in the grocery store. And normally the bacon, that would add a lot of fat to this, but this is going to add the flavor, not the fat, because you don't want that. Yep. Okay, so once that's good and sautéed, then we're going to add a little bit of flour.
Just to add, to create a roux?
A little bit of a roux, exactly. Okay. And I normally add a little bit more flour to this because normally I use the frozen pearl onions, but this is a new little trick I've learned. Using the creamed pearl onions, you can use a little less flour and you just dump these right in. And frozen pearl onions. This is about the only, I am all about shortcuts, completely. Okay, so now we're going to add the pearl onions and a little bit of wine. That adds depth of flavor.
But about a half a cup of wine there?
That was a cup.
A cup, okay.
All right, and then we're going to add our, my chicken broth is in. I'm heating this up a little bit.
Here, I'll check your...
This is one of my tips also. See how that goes in hot? If you add it hot, it heats up more quickly.
This is great.
And so then we're just going to add some potatoes to that and some artichoke hearts.
Oh, I love artichokes.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, good. And you can use either the canned or the frozen, whatever you choose.
And then you let it simmer?
That, my friend,
that's it?
Is it.
Oh my goodness.
Now you can go off and have some fun.
Yes, and you serve it with what?
Just some bread. I mean, if you feel like making a salad, of course a salad is so easy these days, but it's a complete meal.
It has all the veggies and everything.
Just hand the kids a bowl of this as they're racing out the door, and that's it. But what I believe is that it's important to sit down if you can take the time to do that, because we all know, studies show, kids who are less likely to get into drug and alcohol have those issues if they sit down and have regular meals with their family.
Okay, that's so true. And now this is the finished product.
Here's the finished product. We're gonna, if you want to take a little time and make it pretty.
Oh my goodness.
And that's because of those pearl onions.
It's beautiful.
You know, isn't that pretty?
The consistency is just wonderful.
Isn't that perfect? And this can be weeknight supper. It can be that simple. I mean, I did do a little chopping ahead of time.
Now you're working on a new book too.
I am, and that book will be out in a couple months, and I hope you let me back on to talk about that. It's called Cook Without a Book, Meatless Meals. I'm not a vegetarian, clearly, but I do believe in reducing our meat consumption so that we can afford better meat. less meat, better meat.
Looking forward to that. Now, this
Yes.
is a meatless recipe we're going to try right now.
This is a yummy dessert.
Yummy, okay.
You know, again, you can just hand the kids an apple after dinner, but you know, they're not
wanna
going to
do
be
that.
They're not going to be too interested in that. We're going to roast some apples. Obviously, you've got plenty of time left to do that. And what I do is just have the apple and take a melon baller and use that to scoop out the core.
Oh, easy.
Very easy. And I've preheated my oven, and to that I've added a little bit of butter, and then I sprinkle on brown sugar, place the halved apples over some cinnamon sticks. And if you don't have cinnamon sticks, just sprinkle in a little cinnamon.
Cinnamon, ground cinnamon?
Yep. And put these in the oven while everybody's consuming their stew. These
it's going to smell so good, the stew and the apples baking in the oven.
Talk about fall. I mean, the smells is going to get you right in the mood. And you know, now with this kind of chilly, damp weather we've been experiencing, I think this is the perfect meal.
Now, this is a favorite recipe of the family. I know you have a website called
3minutecooks.com. Yes.
And
This
these
is
are
one
your
of
two
ours.
daughters.
They are my two daughters. One's 26, one's 20. My 26-year-old is getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
In New Haven.
That's great.
In December. But this recipe, this apple recipe, is actually running in my weekly column that I write for USA Weekend. It's a Sunday.
And it's going to be this
papers.
weekend.
It's in this paper. It's in the Hartford Courant for people who might see it up there. But you can go online.
Get it on USA Weekend or your website.
Or yours.
Or our website, Connecticut Style. That's exactly right.
And I'll show you how to doctor that up and make that little apple healthy. This apple is also great. Make a handful of them because they're wonderful for breakfast.
Really quickly, can we show them the finished product? Just really quickly. We have like 10 seconds here. Look at that.
That's what they look like.
Beautiful.
And this will be great for breakfast,
Can't
too.
wait. All right. Breakfast? All right.
Yes.
Up next, Kristen Casado shares a story about younger onset Alzheimer's where Connecticut Style returns, but we'll be back later in the show.
Great.
Okay.